Blackpool. Sun, sea, sand, and the Lancashire Wanderer. Welcome to another video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm in Stargate. This building behind me that you see is the tram shed for the Blackpool Tramway. So what better place to be to make a start on our journey to travel from Stargate up to Fleetwood on the Blackpool Tramway. Now it is currently the winter season here in Blackpool, but I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you some of the beautiful heritage places that you can visit in Blackpool. Let's go and jump on a tram.
The Blackpool Tramway dates back to 1885 and is one of the oldest electric tramways in the world. It's operated by Blackpool Transport and currently uses this new fleet of Flexity 2 Blackpool trams running along the 11-mile coastal stretch from Stargate to Fleetwood Ferry.
So welcome on board a Flexity 2 Blackpool tram. We're heading up the coast now, up to the north, right up to Fleetwood. My first stop today will be the Sandcastle Water Park.
The Flexity 2 trams were built by Bombardier in Germany, and they have a bright interior with a really nice moquette and information displays displaying the destination of the tram and the tram's next stop. As we travel up the south of the Blackpool shoreline, we pass the Hampton by Hilton Hotel. As we travel a little bit further up towards the pleasure beach, we come to the giant mirror ball, made up of 47,000 mirror tiles, and has now been fully renovated and is now restarted displaying at night. I'd love to see it. As we approach the Pleasure Beach tram stop, you can see the Boulevard Hotel. Now this is a 4-star luxury hotel on the south shore of Blackpool. Also in the background you can see the Pleasure Beach Big Blue Hotel. Now I'd love to see the prices in this hotel of one night, and I think it will be way out my budget. Anyway, we arrive at the Sandcastle Water Park. Now the Sandcastle Water Park opened on the 26th of June 1986 and is one of the largest water parks in the United Kingdom. It has 18 indoor water slides and is currently operated by Merlin Entertainment. So I do recommend you heading to it. And just across the road, I don't think I need to tell you, this is the world famous Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The Pleasure Beach opened in 1896 and is still owned today by the Thompson family. Let me know if you've been to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I'd love to know in the comments below. Let's go to the South Pier. Now as you can see from the footage here, it was extremely windy in Blackpool today, and I took a trip to one of the most famous Wetherspoons in Blackpool, the Velvet Coaster.
So here I am in the Velvet Coaster. It's the next best thing I could get to going on a roller coaster today. Got a brew. And look at this, right next to me. Oh, lovely.
So I just mentioned roller coaster. The Velvet Coaster operated in 1909 to 1932 and was built by William Strickler as a wooden roller coaster inside the Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So I crossed over the road and head over to the South Pier. Now this is one of 3 piers in Blackpool, and this was originally known as the Victoria Pier. It is 149 metres long and opened on the 31st of March 1893. It was now time for me to leave South Beach and head back to the South Pier tram stop and head towards the Central Pier. Now as the tram arrived, I want to tell you about the day ticket that I bought today. I bought the Blackpool Transport Day Saver ticket, which enables you to travel on the buses and the trams all day for the value of £6. Quite a good deal in my opinion. As I travel up to the Central Pier, you can see this part of Blackpool is extremely run down. A lot of the hotels are closed in the winter season and a lot of maintenance takes place.
So welcome to the Central Pier. This pier was built by John Isaac Marston in 1868. and is 339 metres long. As you can see, it's got an absolutely fantastic big wheel where you can see some of the beautiful sights of Blackpool.
As I walk up the central beach, I pass the Royal National Lifeboat Institution headquarters at Blackpool. Now, this building opened on the 6th of June 2012, and the RNLI is a charity that is dedicated to saving lives at sea.
Now, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that behind me is one of Blackpool's most famous landmarks, the world famous Blackpool Tower.
The world famous Blackpool Tower opened its doors on the 14th of May 1894 and was designated as a Grade 1 listed building in 1973. Inspired by the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the tower stands 158 metres tall and is the 125th tallest freestanding tower in the world. Inside the building is a beautiful Victorian ballroom and a world-famous circus that has a circus ring that fills with water. We'll be taking a visit later on in the year.
So yeah, that's the world-famous Blackpool Tower. Now I'm currently walking on the comedy carpet, which has loads of sayings from famous people and famous actors and actresses. I'll take a few minutes to show you just a few. So, maybe you've got wedding bells ringing. Behind me is the White Wedding Chapel, where you can just walk straight in and get married. No appointment necessary. Next stop, North Pier.
The North Pier at Blackpool opened on the 21st of May 1863 and was designed by Eugenius Birch. It was on this very pier on the 19th of July 1948 Harry Corbett bought a yellow and black glove puppet and named it Sooty.
So we've had a look at all three piers and they're all really good, and we're going to be taking you on some of them in the summer season here in Blackpool. Now today, of course, I'm just travelling it up and down, showing you some of the heritage things on the seafront. And look at these here. Now these have been around since the 1800s, and these are shelters where you can get in, shelter from the wind of the blustery Irish Sea. Next stop on my trip today is the Jubilee Gardens in Ginn Square.
One thing I do love about the Blackpool trams is you can get a driver's eye view of what's coming up in front of you. That's another one to tick off on the book.
Welcome to Ginn Square and the Jubilee Gardens. These gardens were built in 1998, and if you want to just have a bit of a break from the hustle and bustle of Blackpool, this is a beautiful, nice little walk up to the cliff tops where we're heading right now. So the beautiful Jubilee Gardens are light from the tram at Ginn Square, and you can take a bit of time just to have a bit of relax from the hustle and bustle of Blackpool. The building you see behind me was built in 1925. This is the cabin lift. Now the cabin lift opened in 1925 as a quick way to get from the cliff tops to the beach. You'll see now that there is a go-karting track below. It closed a few years later after 1925 but reopened in 1992, and unfortunately due to the severe flooding of the building, the lift is now permanently closed. But it's interesting to know it's still a Grade 2 heritage listed building. Next stop, Bispham.
As I get back on the tram up to Bispham at the Uncle Tom's Cabin, you'll see the remains of what are the Blackpool illuminations. Now unfortunately the illuminations aren't switched on all year round, but they are switched on from August through to January. We'll be taking a look through the Blackpool lights later on in the year.
So here I am in Bispham, arrived where I'm going to be heading to this place here. This is the Bispham Kitchens, and in my opinion, one of the best fish and chip restaurants in Blackpool.
The Bispham Kitchen opened in 1984 as a 7-seater restaurant. Today, this brilliant restaurant has over 200 seats and is open all year round. As you can see, the food in this restaurant looks absolutely beautiful. Look at those cakes. For my lunch today, I opted for a steak pudding with chips and curry and a Diet Coke. That cost me £11. Do you have a favourite fish and chip restaurant in Blackpool? Let me know in the comments below.
So I've just enjoyed my beautiful lunch in the beautiful Bispham Kitchen. It's now back to the tram stop, and our next stop on our trip today is Cleveley's.
As we journey up to Cleveley's, we pass the Norbreck Castle Hotel. Now, this hotel for many years has been voted the worst rated hotel in Blackpool. However, it is recently undergoing a brand new refurbishment, albeit very slowly. Anyway, let's go to Cleveley's.
So I'm now in Cleveley's, less than 4 miles from Blackpool. I'm heading up the main street, heading to the beach. So at this point, I'd love to have taken you on the beach, but as you can see, the weather is quite rough today, so I'm not going to bother. I'm now at Ankersholm Park. Back on the 31st of January 2008, a sea truck vessel, the MV Riverdance, was getting caught in a storm and was washed up on this beach just behind me. Next stop on my trip, we're off to Fisherman's Walk in Fleetwood.
As I head back to the tram, I hope you're enjoying today's video. If you are, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel, as it really does help me out, as all my videos are self-funded.
So I'm now on Heathfield Road in Fleetwood, and the building you just see behind me there is the Lofthouse Fisherman's Friend factory. Now, of course, these famous sweets were used by the trawlermen as they travelled out to sea for days and days at a time, bringing the fish into the local Fleetwood market. And even today, fishing boats still do come into Fleetwood, and fresh fish is sold on the market each day. And also in many of the famous fish and chip restaurants up and down the Fylde and Wyre coast. Next stop for us is Fleetwood Ferry, where our journey ends.
As I travel up the last couple of miles up to Fleetwood Ferry, I want to say thank you very much for joining me on my trip today. I took a few minutes outside a beautiful landmark in Fleetwood to sum up my journey.
So I've made it to Fleetwood. The building you see behind me is the North Euston Hotel. Now, many a time, many years ago, trains used to run to Fleetwood, and trains used to travel from here to London Euston, giving it its name, the North Euston Hotel. We're going to head over now towards the beach here in Fleetwood, and I'll see you in a minute.
The North Euston Hotel was built in 1840 as a design by Decimus Burton. It became a Grade 2 listed building on the 26th of April 1950. The lighthouse you see here marks the end of the Wyre Channel.
So that concludes my trip on the Blackpool to Fleetwood Tramway, looking at some of the heritage along this beautiful stretch of coastline. I can't wait to bring you back in the summer when I'll be taking a trip onto the piers and looking around some of the fabulous attractions that this town and area has to offer. Now, don't forget, all these videos are self-funded. If you really want to help me out, click on that subscribe button below and let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you visited Blackpool? Have you been to any of the brilliant places? Maybe you know somewhere I should go. Do let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you on another adventure soon. I'll see you next time.